Alright, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And here it is, guys.
RWBY Volume 5.
RWBY Volume 5.
It's here.
Hallelujah. Okay, alright.
So,
this is happening. We're in Haven.
This is
We have
happening.
Ranger with Crow.
Yes.
And Oscar.
Yes.
Oscar.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Now, Yang. We have Yang heading back. We have Weiss heading back, and then we have Blake doing her thing with the white Fang.
Right.
Do you think we'll probably get some Blake screen time in this episode, right?
We'll get everyone's screen time in
okay.
this episode. This is a 23-minute episode.
That's right.
Guys!
Last season we started out with just a couple characters.
We are so
but
blessed.
So much more time.
No, guys, like, we are so blessed.
Yes.
We
absolutely.
have 23 minutes of RWBY in the premiere episode.
Yeah.
This isn't the finale.
This is the premiere.
We also get 14 total episodes this volume.
Right.
Which is
double prizes
which is
right
a new
there.
record. We've never gotten this much time in a RWBY volume before.
Yes.
We have, I think, gotten
I think
episode lengths that are similar, but that doesn't count.
right, because that was volume 1 and they were like 4 or 8 minutes or something. Yeah.
So but we have so much that you know we're excited to see.
Yep.
But in particular, this episode, we're gonna watch it and we're gonna go ham in the discussion. I can just tell.
Yeah.
23 minutes. There's gonna be quite a bit.
It's going to be a lot of stuff.
Also, they didn't do a intro trailer like they usually do, so we're gonna see the intro for the first time.
That's true. Yeah.
In this episode. You ready, Jacob?
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into it.
The city of Mistral.
Oh, Crow.
It's about time.
Gosh, Nora.
Yes.
Yes.
It has been about time.
Whose idea was it to walk again?
Well, we did face many obstacles. Broken airships, destroyed settlements.
Oh, and, you know, all those people and monsters that tried to murder us.
That little bit of,
We
recap.
were fine.
Oh,
Only one of
Ranger.
us almost died.
Hey,
Hey,
Hey.
So how much farther to Haven Academy?
almost there. I'd have figured I'd take you kids on the scenic route.
As if we hadn't had enough of that already.
Exactly.
Haven. The city and the academy.
Right.
This is
Wow.
Like Redmond.
awesome!
It's gorgeous.
That's certainly something.
Oh, cool.
Oh my gosh, look at all the weapons!
I don't think they've used
Vendors
filtering.
here will sell you just
Yeah.
about anything, whether they should or not.
They really made the most out of these mountains.
Every inch. And stay away from the lower levels. But
Oh,
the higher
cool.
up you go, the nicer it gets.
All right.
And we are going up!
Going up, 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 and away. And a really serious boss episode.
So, how much farther?
Ooh,
We're in the
nice.
home stretch now. No more
The
stops
home
from here to
stretch.
Mistral. Sorry for the long trip. Keeping us off the radar's been harder than I thought. Lots of air traffic around northern Anima.
It's fine.
That would be cool if this was a
I
new character.
just hope I haven't been a burden.
You and your money are more than welcome on this ship, kid.
Nice.
What the?
A lot of air traffic in northern Anima. Yeah, you hear that?
Is everything okay?
I don't know. I'm still over Lake
Smuggling in
Matsu.
Atlas, you know?
Shouldn't be picking up broadcasts this
Get
far
dust
from
out.
Mistral. Someone must be close.
Mayday! Mayday! We're a small passenger flight and our Huntress is down! We aren't equipped to deal with this!
Oh, man.
The Grim hit us 400 clicks north of the southern shoreline. Get him off us! If anyone can hear this.
This is the bugs.
Uh-huh.
We're going to help them, right?
What? No.
We're
I'm trying to
flying
avoid
under
them.
the radar.
But they'll die.
Look, if we picked up their transmission, I'm sure someone else did too. Besides, this is a cargo ship. She's not much good in a fight. I just want to finish this job and get home. Sorry, kid.
Weiss is growing.
My ship, my rules.
I'm kind of glad they're about doing that. 'cause
Yeah.
It's
complexity.
Get Team RWBY back together. Well, yeah, and yeah, the conflict from that. Helping them would have been the easy decision, story-wise.
But not an easy decision for Weiss, though.
Exactly. And because it wasn't her decision.
It's cool. Huh. So is this the actual academy?
I think
the
so.
actual Naval Academy?
We made it.
Very quiet.
Yeah, very empty.
Yeah.
Is Pro noticing that too?
Hello?
School not in session right now?
Hello? Maybe try louder?
There doesn't seem to be anyone
Everyone's
here.
in the worshipping Salem class,
Well,
you know.
I guess school isn't really in session right now. Maybe that's it.
No, this isn't right. Come on.
Wait for us!
So they're just gonna skip the whole entry thing.
I don't think so.
Get ready. There could be trouble.
Heart attack.
Oh my gosh. Lionheart's dead.
Professor Lionheart?
Crow! For crying out loud, you nearly scared me half to death!
Me? Why weren't you waiting for us at the entrance?
Oh, right. Apologies.
I had an
guess
important
time
meeting
slipped
with
away
Watts.
from me.
Yeah.
You're joking.
Where is everybody?
Ah, you must be the students Crow mentioned.
Yes, sir. Ruby Rose.
Jean Arc.
Nor Valkyrie.
Lyren.
A pleasure to meet you all. Leonardo Lionheart at your service.
Leonardo.
I'm afraid most
Okay.
of my staff is currently away until classes resume, but...
What? Leo, you can't be serious. Who's guarding the relic?
Crow, the children!
Already know. I filled them
Yeah.
in. What do you mean your staff is away?
You filled them in?
So, is this not going at all like anyone thought it would?
Yeah. Just, yeah.
Unbelievable!
Total garbage. We can't let them get away with this.
Yes!
Well, at least you two can finally agree on something.
Guys,
Blake.
everything's gonna be okay.
God, the visuals are so much better now.
They really are.
Good evening, miss. Can I get you anything?
Oh, guard.
Just a little time to myself, if that's all right.
Sure thing. Just call if you need me.
I hope these extra sort of side characters are recurring at the very least, even if they aren't developed, you know?
Yes.
You need better security.
Yep, saw that coming.
From a mile away.
Please, I just need to talk.
How could you take the fall for them, Illya?
Blake.
Corsic and Finnick blamed you. We confronted them tonight and they denied knowing anything, and everything we found on your scroll, they talked about how disappointed they were to hear that you'd sided with Adam. But you and I both know they're guilty.
Well, yeah.
You can't prove anything.
That scroll might not have been enough to lock them up, but it's enough to sway the Faunas here. When we go public tomorrow, they're not going to stand for any of it.
Yeah, great. Tell
And neither
her your
should you.
plans.
It's the friendship thing. Because
Right, I know.
They care
Your
about
plan
each
isn't
other.
gonna work, Blake. Please. Just leave Menagerie before it's too late.
Because
How much you want to bet Adam sent her to...
You're going to have to make me.
No, I think she just came from a meeting with Adam and now she knows what's
Sure.
going on.
I know.
And that's what she's afraid of.
Yeah.
Adam's making his move. I mean, we saw him in the trailer that he's going to approach Sienna Khan.
Right.
It could even be a hostile takeover.
Oh, I definitely think so.
Even if it does,
I
even
have
if it
to
isn't,
say,
it doesn't
Crow,
matter.
this
It's
all seems
dangerous.
very reckless, even for you.
No, reckless is leaving one of the relics completely unguarded. It's not checking in with Oz for ages.
There was nothing to check in about before the fall of Beacon, but since that day, Mistral has been in chaos.
Okay.
Vale wasn't the only kingdom to suffer that night. Everyone was watching. Every house in every kingdom saw that poor girl ripped to pieces, saw monsters crawling over the city, Atlesian knights attacking citizens, and then nothing. You could feel the dread in the air. With all that negativity, you can imagine what it was like when the Grimm came for us. Mistral's controlled territory is the widest reaching in the world, you know, and that makes it infinitely harder to protect. We lost so many great huntsmen, teachers from this very institution.
I hope this isn't all just like
worse.
Like him trying to excuse his own actions of working with Watts, you know? But they really
We may have dealt with the Grimm,
I know.
but the Mistral Council's still at odds with representatives from Atlas. First, it was the dust embargo. Now it's the closing of borders. I'm not sure what happened to James in Vale, but it seems to have only worsened some of his more unfortunate tendencies. And on top of everything, we still don't know where the Spring Maiden is.
All the more reason we need the huntsman and huntresses here.
Okay. Things are bad. They're bad. But we can figure this out. Why is the Spring Maiden so important?
I thought you filled them in.
Mostly filled in. Look, there's a lot to cover, okay? I quit teaching for a reason.
Yeah.
The four maidens each have the power to perform feats of magic. And they are the only ones capable of reaching the relics.
Oh, okay.
The relics are each locked inside a chamber that can only be opened by a specific maiden. Winter for the gift of creation, summer for destruction, fall for choice, and spring for knowledge.
Oh,
gotcha.
So
spring is
Vale
the problem.
Had choice.
Yeah.
What happened to her?
She was determined at first when she inherited her powers. But the weight of responsibility proved to be too much for the child. She ran, abandoned her training.
That's realistic.
Yeah, the gift of knowledge, you know, maybe
That was over a decade ago. There's no telling.
I mean,
when.
I know, but it's...
I know. At least, I have a pretty good idea.
Are you serious?
It's not exactly good news.
What are you talking about? This is incredible news! After all these years, where?
So I can tell Watts.
Exactly.
Looks like after Spring ran away, she was picked up by bandits. Specifically, the Brownwind tribe.
Yay.
Yang's mom?
That's right.
Good. This'll be fun.
That's about where they've set up their main camp. It's where they fall back to after raids and scouting missions. Raven's managed to gain a lot of followers since she returned to the tribe. And I'm sure when the Spring Maiden showed up, it only made things easier.
Yeah.
Well, Crow, I've got to hand it to you. With these coordinates, we can mount a retrieval force and head out in a few weeks.
A few weeks?
That's right.
Leo, maybe you didn't hear me. My sister has the Spring Maiden, and I know where she is. We need to go as soon as possible.
And perhaps you didn't hear me. This kingdom is in shambles. As soon as possible does not mean tomorrow. It means as soon as I can convince the rest of the council that I need huntsmen more than they do. Unfortunately, bandit tribes aren't very high on their list of priorities when the threat of war is just on the horizon.
Then damn the council. We'll do it ourselves. You and I are trained huntsmen, and these kids aren't exactly pushovers.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Perhaps there's a more peaceful way to approach this?
We need to get Spring as far away from here as
And
possible.
Ren's ignored.
But Raven isn't going to give up her most prized possession without a fight.
Unfortunately, you and your sister are evenly matched, and I'm not the fighter I used to be. No offense, but these students and I can't take on an entire bandit tribe and a maiden that's no doubt had years to hone her skills. We need to be positive we can apprehend Spring, because if we fail, Raven and her tribe will scatter, and we'll be lost. We get one shot at this, and it needs to be perfect.
I'm foreseeing a three-pronged attack.
I do too. Yeah.
You know, Oz wouldn't be happy with any of this if he were here.
Perhaps you're right.
He kind of is.
But he's not. I'm doing the very best I can.
There has to be something we can do.
Why haven't they brought us?
What about Cinder?
To this?
She came with Emerald and Mercury from Haven. Do you have anything on them?
We pulled their files after the fall of Beacon. Nothing but lies and forgeries.
Unless it just happens later on in the... Sure. Hey, there's the fist meme.
Well, I can't say this has been a warm reunion, Leo.
I'm sorry. I know you've all traveled a long way, but I will do everything I can to help.
Sure. We'll stay in the city for the time being. Local comms are still up. Keep in touch. Come on, kids.
How much you want to bet
nothing's ever so
hiding
simple.
something?
It was nice meeting you, Professor.
Likewise.
Oh, that he gave false coordinates?
Yeah, or something like that.
I don't think so.
Or maybe that he's hiding the thing about Oscar, you know?
Oh, hiding the thing about Oscar actually makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
We have got to work on your improvisational skills.
Yeah.
That crow walk.
Yeah, of course. There's no way he would tell him about
what do we
the
do
Oscar
now?
situation.
No way. At all.
You four head back to the house. I need a drink.
Ah, okay.
Ah, this is where it happens. So he goes drinking. Oscar bumps into him. There we go. Okay, cool.
All right.
Fantastic.
Excuse me.
We get the full version of the scene here.
Yep. The Elric brothers reunite.
You know, I don't think they allow kids in here, Pipsqueak.
Oh! And he calls him Pipsqueak.
Shut up, I'm getting there.
Oh, so great.
Yep.
I'm supposed to tell you I'd like my cane back.
Oh. And I love how Crow's like, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
It's good to see you again, Oz.
Oh, man. This is the part in Volume 5, just Oscar for being the conduit for Ozpin and him being a new character as well.
Oh, yeah.
So exciting. Just right. Wow, that's funny.
Aren't you a little young to be drinking?
Oh, water. It's hot out.
Oh, sure.
Are you telling me you're too young to drink? You look like a regular huntress.
Oh my
And
gosh.
a beauty at that.
I'm good.
He's going to
Thanks,
get his ass
pal.
handed to him.
Seriously. Not too bulky.
Oh my god.
Not too lean.
Wow.
You're...
Just right. Yep. Like I said, I'm good.
Haha, just right, because the gas station.
And it's Barb.
And your hair.
Oh, you do
Don't
not
touch the hair.
Yep. Boom! And that was the metal arm, dude.
Uh-huh. He's gonna feel that in the morning.
What? What? What?
Okay.
What was that?
Okay, I get that was comedy, but... Okay.
Okay.
This one's on the house. He's been driving me crazy.
Ooh. That's the real arm.
Mm-hmm.
So, what brings you around these parts?
Thanks. And I'm, looking for someone.
The movements are so
Not many
fluid.
people come
I
out
love it.
here, too far from the kingdoms. Only person worth noting around here is, well, Ray.
Raven Bronwyn.
Yeah.
Thanks again.
Now, Missy, you don't want to go messing with bandits. They're a world of trouble.
So I hear.
Oh. So she's going after Raven. Okay.
God, Yang is so badass, just for the look and everything.
The hair flip as she gets on the motorcycle.
Hey, girly.
Seriously? This isn't over?
He's one of the bandits.
I heard you're looking for someone.
Yeah.
I love the aesthetic of this place.
Yeah, very homey. Even though we know that.
Why is the music all
Not
like,
safe.
like, ooh, you know? Hey! Good
Can
to
I
see
help you?
Can I help you?
Yeah. Is there a ruby rose here?
Yay.
Why?
Well...
Where's
I found it!
Ah! Oh my gosh, he's
Uncle
drunk.
could use some help.
Wow. Of course.
I found him.
What out there? Can't a girl read her comics in peace?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Crow, did you
Druncle.
get drunk again?
Maybe.
Maybe.
You have silver eyes.
Oh.
Who are you?
Crow's laughing.
Well, my name is Oscar Pine.
Wait for it.
Wait for it.
You probably know me as Professor Ozpin.
I did it!
That was amazing. I love how they handled that.
Oh man, this is the intro. Okay, here we go.
Yeah!
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Oh, that was a cool rotating shot. Ooh. Okay. Hazel and Adam.
Hazel and Adam,
All
yeah.
right.
That's where Hazel was headed.
Right.
The Spring Maiden! And Raven! Okay. I am... Whoa! Okay, I'm
boy.
ready.
All right.
I am ready for
this
this.
is- Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This is going to be good.
Hey, Mercury!
Mercury's back.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
boy.
What? What?
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
All right.
Ruby's back, guys.
Yeah, it is back. in
Ruby
swinging.
is back.
So that was a fantastic way to end the episode. I didn't think it would end there though. Like that all felt so short. Like
It felt so fast.
like oh,
One of the impressive things is we have, been, kind of waiting for Volume 5, since Volume 4 ended.
right.
And there's no real, slowing down in our minds of, every little bit is happening. It just rushes over you so
Yeah.
quickly that you're you're having so much fun, and then suddenly,
it does.
it's over.
It's over. I absolutely love. I know this is starting at the end, but I absolutely love how they made Crow, like, because, okay, it's like Crow was going there to get drunk because he was, like, depressed. He's like, crap, this isn't going well.
Right.
And then Oscar shows up, and then, of course, he gets happy drunk, and then he comes back. And, like, I love that Oscar was having to ask for Ruby Rose, and they're all like, oh no, is he coming after her?
Right.
And it wasn't that Crow was, like, playing a joke on them. He was actually drunk, and Oscar was, like, helping him find his way back.
So
it's just the wait for it. I did it.
So Crow is the MVP this episode.
Oh, yeah.
Because
absolutely.
One of the things that they did in particular was they used this as a springboard for those that are kind of getting back into RWBY, I would say.
A springboard?
I know what I'm doing,
Yeah.
Jacob. I know what I'm doing. Because what they actually did was they took the premise for the volume and set it up. And they said, all right,
yes,
this is the direction. We are going this way.
Yeah.
And we have moved all the players into place.
Right.
Except for the antagonists. Which I'm glad, because in Volume 4 they did the opposite.
Yeah.
And they set the
antagonists
up because
which they kind of needed to, because they had hinted at that at the end of Volume 3.
Possibly, yes. But in Volume 3's ending, they actually set up the protagonist's goal.
Right, exactly.
I mean, sorry, yes, the protagonist's goal. So in this, they now have moved everyone into place and gave very subtle kind of suggestions about what's happening with the antagonist. So let's go around by location.
Yeah.
Weiss is the easiest one because she's in transit right now.
Right, and she is going to Haven.
She is going to Haven.
Yeah.
We haven't seen Winter yet, so we don't know where she's going to meet
but
with
but I believe she had
Winter.
been told, or it had been said that she was going on her, to Haven.
Yes, I think she's investigating the strange things going on there.
Right.
In a way, I think Winter is a liaison for James Ironwood, Iron Daddy, for the potential political dealings that will be going on between the two nations of Anima and Atlas.
Do you think with the trouble that's going on in Haven, James might show up to help reinforce it?
I could see that happening much later, but not anytime soon.
Sure.
Like maybe towards the end of the volume.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Yang also in transit.
And surprise, she is actually going to see Raven. So that means we are not going to be getting a reuniting of Team RWBY as soon as we thought.
Yes, I would say at least in the first 6 episodes, we will not see a Team RWBY reunion.
Probably not.
Yeah, I think it could come later, but if it's coming, it's probably not going to be for the next like 5 or 6 episodes or so.
Yeah.
But her little in transit thing is not only telling us that she's going to Raven, it's setting up to the fact that she is going to spend probably a decent amount of time with Raven as well.
Right.
Because you notice the hand tremor? The hand tremor?
Yep.
That was her physical hand, her actual hand. My prediction that she was going to be kind of having a little bit of a journey with her Volume 4 development alongside her Raven kind of reconnection arc will be very, very cool.
And I would say it's important that they introduce that before anything about Raven came up, because otherwise we might have chalked it up to just her being nervous since she's been looking for her mother for a long time.
Right. But the action she was doing when her hand started to wig out was not at all related to Raven.
Exactly. She
so
was just
it makes it more of a Yang thing.
Yep.
So Yang is still on edge. That is kind of the point to be made here. So she wasn't having any of the crap from this random guy who just heckled her.
Right.
And let's just say, like, there was some comedic moments. There were some funny moments this episode, but that landed so weird.
Yeah,
like,
that landed so weird. And the pun there is real, because
the pun was great.
Well, the pun was great. I was talking about the one that you just did. Of
just right.
Well, no, the landing.
Because
the way they made him bounce around. That was goofy.
That was so goofy.
That was goofy. Like
Roadrunner, dropping an anvil from the sky goofy,
Exactly. And I would almost say more than that, because it was like he would bounce up to the ceiling and we're like, huh? And then he would hang there for a bit, then bounce back, then bounce somewhere else in a completely different direction,
The point was he got destroyed.
He got destroyed, absolutely.
One punch, destroyed.
Metal arm.
I like that Yang isn't necessarily going all glowy when she uses her semblance and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that the red eyes is a combination kind of activation of that. I don't think it has like anything else other than that.
Sure.
But I know that there are some people that like to think that the because when we saw this in the trailer when this guy got punched, that the red eyes has something to do with the fact that Raven has red eyes.
Right. And so does Crow too, kind of.
Does Crow have red eyes?
He has like brownish red eyes, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's some kind of like Bronwyn specific thing.
Okay, you think it's specifically a Raven thing? Maybe
it could be.
Who knows?
No, I just think it's like a semblance thing.
Oh, sure.
Or
yeah.
What have you?
Now they set it up so that Yang now essentially has her into the tribe, which is great because with like say Weiss, it was they set it up so that now she can just arrive at Haven, right?
Right.
And then with Blake,
it's more complicated.
Blake, it's a bit more complicated.
So Blake's storyline is potentially going to be the most interesting in the immediate sense.
Right.
Like the next 2 episodes, I would say, are going to be very big for Blake.
Yes.
Because let's say they go public tomorrow, like they're saying.
Right.
Illya knows that they're doing that, but the reason why she went to Blake was kind of a thing of saying, hey, back off, Blake, things are about to get crazy.
Yeah.
Things are about to get crazy means Adam's showing up.
Right, exactly. So what we're going to be getting...
Right, Adam showing up means potential...
Preemptive strike, probably.
Yes, a potential White Fang hostile takeover. If the White Fang don't do a hostile takeover, it could be worse in that the White Fang and Adam... could his section of the White Fang could convince Sienna Khan that they actually should go his way with this.
That's the worst way that it could basically go. Instead of doing a hostile takeover, because then that sort of gets the message out anyways.
Yes.
Instead, what would happen is they get the message out and it's just crickets. No one cares, you know.
Or because there's been an ideological shift in the way the White Fang does things because it's maybe more effective. Like maybe the White Fang is has been a bit stagnant.
Sure.
And Adam comes in with this whole thing of leadership.
Yeah.
Here's where it could get really interesting. I predict Adam's going to make an epic speech. And it's going to be chilling in that the speech will be charismatic, but it'll be coming from a lunatic. It will be coming from
like
an
Hitler
insane guy
something.
like Adam.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to draw any connotations, but Yeah.
So one of the things that I'm most excited about is to see any conflict that happens between Adam and Sienna Khan.
Well,
because they've done a great job of
Gira into that mix there. They're all White Fang leaders.
Yeah, that's right. And then Hazel's also going to get thrown into the mix later. So okay, here's what I think might happen.
Yeah.
All right. So Salem and all them, they're like, okay, Adam Taurus, he's been proving useful. I think what Hazel's doing is he's going over there to help Adam take over the White Fang.
Right.
So Sienna Khan is basically going to get ousted.
I don't see her getting ousted. I see her getting manipulated.
Okay.
So here's what Adam's going to do, in my opinion. He's going to come in with a lot of his followers, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be this sudden influx of, dangerous people all in a compact place. And you can get little explosions that go off when you get a lot of dangerous people in a compact place. And Hazel, I get the vibe, is one of those characters that's extremely dangerous, but he never shows it. He has his very deliberate, terrifying words.
Exactly.
He speaks to you and
it's
you listen.
And that's why I'm really excited for Hazel, because I think they understand the idea with him that he doesn't need to have the bravado, whereas Adam is very much like brash and out there and you know.
And Hazel's sitting there in the background.
Hazel will just sit there, and if he
just flexing his muscles and just being like,
and if he says something even slightly intimidating, you'll just be like, oh crap, like what is he gonna do?
Here's another thing to bring up: the fact that Salem sent Hazel specifically. She could have sent anyone.
Yeah,
she chose to send Hazel.
Right.
I believe Hazel actually has had dealings with Sienna Khan in the past.
Sure.
And he can have an audience with her at any time that he wants, because maybe Hazel represents Salem and Sienna at the very least respects the power that Salem wields.
Sure.
And if Hazel come in and says, I represent the right arm of Salem, you will do what we say and accept Adam Taurus.
Here's another thing they could do. They could have him invoke the name of Salem. If they wanted to build up Hazel, though, they could have him invoke his own name.
Well, he's gonna be there.
Well, no, I know, but basically they could do something where instead of
That
it being who Hazel works for, just the idea of like, holy crap, is that Hazel? Like, and then that can be a way.
Yes, but he doesn't need to say anything to do that. He just walks in and then it's Hazel.
Exactly, and that's why I'm excited to see that, because with people like, say, Tyrion, he shows up and he just attacks, right? He's that, he's that crazy
he's the
right?
least interesting, in my opinion, of all of Salem's council.
And then we have Watts, who basically comes in and he seems to be the manipulator. He's like, yeah, I work for Salem, and he just goes in like he owns the place, right? So I feel like Hazel will be the third...
The subtle background.
Exactly.
He feels like a Jedi in all the wrong ways.
Yeah,
like,
well said.
He has the countenance of someone who's soft-spoken, but is a storm underneath. You don't want to prod him. You don't want to annoy him. Basically, Hazel's presence, I think, is going to put the choice in Sienna Khan's hands. He's not going to completely take it away by force in some kind of bullying. I think, if anything, he might soften Sienna up for Adam, and then when Adam comes in there to the council to speak with her, Hazel's sitting there in the background being like, all
Hazel's
according to Keikaku.
Yeah, Hazel's like basically the one that authenticates, Adam's just what would otherwise just be like crazy.
Yeah, she would just kick him out.
Exactly, Yeah, it's like the dog that never stops barking. It's like, okay, you need to go into your kennel.
Right. So with that being said, Gira, Kali, Sun, and Blake have no allies.
Right.
They have no allies.
Yeah.
And the idea is that they will need to grab some quickly, and if they don't find one in Sienna, and they don't find one in Illya,
or just the people,
they're gonna have to run.
Yeah.
And I think that this could be a very interesting story where they either try to do some kind of guerrilla stuff.
Yep.
Not the animal, not the faunus, like actual guerrilla tactics.
That would be
and they try
sick.
to basically undermine the White Fang in Menagerie by, these means, and they get just as many as they can to their side. I think Menagerie is a little bit too small to do anything like that in a long-term way. But maybe Blake will be able to sway over someone like Illya in the long term.
Sure.
By Blake's actions.
Do you think they might try and do something where, because if they're taking over the White Fang, they probably wouldn't want a prominent leader to be able to run away, right?
Oh, no. Because that's why we're going to get a Gira Sienna Khan fight, because it's Jungle Book, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Bagheera and Shere Khan.
Exactly. Which will be awesome. And that might that would kind of make sense that they would choose to do it now, because the bit where him and Sun were talking in parallel, that could be considered basically a sort of death flag. Where
yes,
where
it could be.
They're taking him who was not like that at all in the 4th volume, right?
And they're developing him a little bit.
And they're developing him a little bit. They're making you care about him a little bit more.
Oh, we already cared about Gira.
We all
loved Gira.
Oh, absolutely. But the idea is that they're showing different aspects of him.
Yes. When we arrived at Menagerie and we met Blake's family, I predicted really quickly that at least one or potentially both of Blake's parents would die because they were too good for this world.
Exactly, yes.
And the more and more good things that they end up doing, the more and more worried I get for them, especially with Blake's theme of her story is that people around her get hurt.
Right.
And Sun has already gotten hurt. And now maybe her family is next.
Yep.
I also don't want Illya to die.
No.
But by her own character existing, she's probably going to get some kind of negative consequence. She's going to get some kind of consequence by being associated with Blake in this whole Volume 5 story. But she might not actually die.
Unless Adam's actually counting on it. That basically...
It depends,
We
haven't gotten a nail down on the theme so far of Volume 5 yet. We have an idea of it,
right?
But we know it's mostly about characters developing right now.
Yeah, and so far from what we've heard, it seems to be more of the kind of thing that we would expect for Yang or Weiss.
Sure.
Not necessarily for Ranger or
Blake.
Yeah.
So their stories in particular are going to be harder to predict, but they will probably have more grander plot implications, at least in the immediate sense.
Yeah.
But Ranger has a very interesting talk with Leonardo Lionheart.
Yes.
I know we had the knowledge, I believe, that his first name was Leo,
right?
But we didn't know that that was short for Leonardo. I think especially we might have. I'm not sure.
Although I think Leo, it's either like Leonard or Leonardo. So.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. But sometimes they don't go that detailed into it because Leo is basically says lion, so his name was like Lionheart.
Yeah, it's like it's
kind
like
of funny.
The teacher in Harry Potter. You know but what was it? The werewolf one. Dang it! Wow, how am I forgetting his name? Lupin.
Yeah. Remus Lupin.
Yeah, Remus Lupin. It's like
Wolf,
Moon. Yeah.
It was funny watching you try to figure that out. Sorry.
It's been so long. Okay, but so next episode, all right. So we have
why are we going to next episode? We're still talking about the Lionheart conversation.
Okay.
The Lionheart conversation goes into things that are actual like big plot relevant things. The fact that a maiden specifically is needed to access the relic,
right,
essentially makes the maidens keys to the treasure chest which holds the relics,
right. And I think the reason why they want the knowledge one is so that way they know where all the other maidens are and all the we
don't know anything about the relics.
Yeah.
The thing that we know is that the choice one was at Vale.
Right, which is
and that's why the Fall Maiden was the one they went after, and I feel like we were onto something, that the choice one is the most powerful one, therefore it was the one they went after first, and they tried to get after it, but
now they don't actually have the relic.
They don't have the relic, and we don't know necessarily even that the cane is the relic.
Right, because because they were talking about them being in vaults and stuff, so it makes it seem a lot less likely that.
So that's why Salem was looking for the relic at the school, even though Ozpin was gone.
Okay, all right. Here's a thought: when they went down to where the Fall Maiden was, Pyrrha mentioned it's a kind of vault.
Yeah,
that didn't really seem like a kind of vault. It seemed like a basement. Like I don't remember seeing any kind of like big vault door with a wheel to open it or anything like that.
Right.
So
the whole place is a vault. So there are multiple things in there potentially of use or of note, that are not supposed to be accessed.
But now I find that very interesting because if I were Cinder and I went down to this secret place underneath, Beacon, and and I found the maiden and I got the maiden's powers, right? My first instinct would not be to go up to the top of the tower or whatever, right? It would be to find the relic wherever it was, and I would think that it would be somewhere in this hidden area or something, right?
Yes, but I don't think that the vault is necessarily literal. This is the point where I get things are a little bit confusing with RWBY. So when they say that there's a vault that the relics are in, I get the vibe of they're just contained. The cane right now is the big question. Is the cane in any way tied to the relic at all? Is it a key to actually open the relic and the maiden just needs to be the one to actually use it so they can find it?
Yeah, possibly.
There's a whole lot of ways this could go, but I feel like things keep getting added on to where we now can't even come close to predicting where and what things could be because it's pretty confusing.
Yeah.
But the fact that a specific maiden is lined up with a specific aspect of creation, even though creation is an aspect of the brother gods. We have spring for creation, summer for destruction, fall for choice, and
winter for
knowledge. Which is interesting.
No, spring was knowledge.
No, winter was knowledge. Spring was creation.
Okay.
The funny thing is, if you actually line that up, those all fit perfectly with the RWBY characters.
Okay.
Ruby is spring.
Yeah. Okay.
She is the creative one. She is the bringer of life and all happiness and good things.
Okay.
Summer, Yang, destruction. She brings the beating.
Yep.
Weiss, winter, knowledge. She is the smart one. Blake, fall, choice.
Yeah.
She is the one that has been constantly dealing with difficult choices. It's almost like they're overtly telling us, by the way, all 4 girls will end up being potentially maidens.
I was almost
in the future.
certain that spring was knowledge, but okay.
I feel like you were talking at the wrong times and you just missed that. You can call us out in the comments if we were who was right and who was wrong. But give us the list as well if that's even easier.
Right.
But this bit with Lionheart being completely in the thrall of Watts.
Right.
Watts is holding something over him.
Yes.
What if the people not being at Haven is such that there are actual hostages in play here?
Okay.
I don't buy the it's empty and
school's
out and they're all away.
Except there's no way to keep that a secret, right?
What do you mean?
Well,
of course
okay.
there is.
Maybe, but like with the amount of emptiness that it is, right? If it's that literally like all the people that would be at the school.
No, not all of them, just some of them. That's why there's no one here, because usually there would be 6 people here.
Sure, yeah, okay,
but,
I could buy that.
One by one, basically they're getting taken as hostages. Or just a select number of specific people that are close to Lionheart are being taken as hostage.
Yeah.
I get the idea that Watts is not alone.
Right.
He has multiple people here other than himself, kind of making sure that things are going the way they want.
Right, especially since they made sure to mention the idea that there's that whole, underground part of Haven and the area, Mistral.
Right. The thing that's interesting, though, so Lionheart is in league with Watts. Watts is in league with Salem.
Right.
Salem has the Fall Maiden.
Right.
Essentially.
Yep.
Salem knows then, at least she is about to find out, based on if Watts' dealings with Lionheart are just now, which I don't think they are, that a maiden is needed to bring about to actually apprehend the relic. The thing is, what has Lionheart told Watts and what hasn't he told him? I think he's told him everything. Because the fact that Watts seemed to be listening in.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then Salem knows that Cinder needs to go to Beacon to actually get the relic.
Right.
Which she hasn't been doing. She's been keeping her around and having everyone else look for the relic when they know that they need Cinder in order to actually find the relic.
Here's something interesting. So, they mentioned that the relics were in vaults and they couldn't be accessed without the corresponding maiden, right? So why was Crow so freaked out that they didn't have people guarding the vault? Unless they have Spring Maiden, then they wouldn't be able to get access to it. I get that they need to have contingencies even for things like that, since the Spring Maiden's whereabouts are, up in the air.
Because the Spring Maiden could be bad and come in with Raven, and they do a sneak mission and take the whole thing right out from under them.
I am so excited about that, because the idea of having... Cinder,
third factions in fantasy stories.
And by having a maiden with the faction, that basically legitimizes them as a faction and
that's exactly what the word I was going to use too.
Force, not just some random brotherhood without banners.
No, they're completely legitimate, because up until this point they were just the ones that had Yang's mom.
Right.
Now they're way more than that. They're the key also to a bit of Crow's story. And Crow, I don't think, really can progress as a character until he speaks again
with Raven.
And they have a bit of a confrontation.
Yeah.
So right now...
And Yang's going to be there for that? Oh, that's how they're going to bring Yang into the group.
Well, that's how Yang's going to get back into this. Yeah, we mentioned this during the Yang character short, that Crow would potentially go to the tribe, leave Ranger, and that leaves Ranger into more... kind of up to their own devices.
Yeah.
And he's like, Yang, what are you doing here? Go back to Haven. Your sister needs you.
Right. And if they are left with Oscar,
yes,
which they probably would be, because There is no way Crow would bring him to
Nope.
Raven's camp.
Nope.
There is absolutely no way.
No way.
Then what? That'll be interesting to see how they handle that.
Oscar is a minefield of good, like, he's a treasure trove of good story stuff that could happen.
Yes. Absolutely.
Basically, he's like the Avatar. He's got the reincarnated super being of Ozpin inside him.
Yep.
Giving him all this extra knowledge.
Yeah.
And what he can pass on to them is huge.
Right.
And also in how he can develop is huge.
Yes, absolutely.
So there's some really cool things that they could do there. And I feel like they didn't want to drop those bombshells in this episode because they're going to be big.
So there's a part of me that is really excited for Crow to go to Raven's tribe.
Right.
And leave them behind. Because while I do want all the bombshells and stuff, I also, and in a way, more than that, I want to see the comedic things that can happen now that they realize this is Ozpin, huh?
Oh, so you're Ozpin.
And just all the antics that can ensue.
There's quite a bit.
Because they will. They
at the very
totally
least
will.
Nora and Jean, I think, will.
And probably Ruby too.
I would see Ruby actually as asking questions.
Sure.
I could see Jean asking questions too.
And Ren's trying to be like the responsible babysitter.
Right.
You know?
I could see Jean actually starting out playful and then getting serious.
Sure.
And it's like, you let Pyrrha die. This is all your fault.
And then
Oscar's like I don't know what you're talking about. Like,
sorry,
that's not me. Please don't blame me. I'm just the messenger.
Yeah.
It's like, well, Oscar, you're not exactly the messenger. You're a little bit more than that.
But I don't know. Yeah.
Right. So poor Oscar, he's being thrown into this whole chaotic mess.
Oh, yeah.
And he has no grid for it except what Ozpin kind of chooses to tell him.
Right.
Which is another good point. Ozpin doesn't have to tell him everything.
Right.
And also, Ozpin at this point might still be able to keep things from Oscar to where they haven't fully mind melded with each other.
Sure.
Once they do fully mind meld with each other, that's going to be one of the big things that happens this volume.
Oh, yeah.
There's going to be some kind of a change that happens. It's not like a physical change where, oh, my final form, transform.
Right.
No, it's going to be...
He's not going to have lights glowing from his eyes and his fingertips.
No, but he's also not going to turn into someone that looks like Ozpin.
Right. Absolutely.
It's going to be a thing of... He'll start doing little things that will be more Ozpin-like.
He'll start being like, you know what? I could really use a cup of coffee right now.
Right. He'll put on glasses or something like that. No, nothing stupid like that. But knowledge that he'll be able to pass to everyone else, and Ozpin won't be able to restrain him. Oscar will probably have the free will to choose.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so guys, do you want to know who Salem is? There's some really big things that could happen here.
Yep.
I would say the only bit we haven't really discussed about the episode itself is kind of the comedy around Ranger with Druncle, Crow, and just the little bits with Ruby coming in. Can't a girl read her comics in peace?
Yep.
And then she sees Drunk Crow and she's like, oh my god, why?
Yeah.
You get the vibe that Ruby has grown up quite a bit, but still she's not used to...
Oh, not at all.
And not a fan of Drunk Crow.
One of the other things I think we should point out, and you did when we were watching the episode, is that when things are getting escalated with Lionheart, and Ruby steps in, and then Ren's just like, why don't we all just calm down, you know? And they just
completely ignored Ren.
Yeah, he's like, or I think he said like,
why don't we seek out a peaceful solution?
Yeah, and they just no, completely ignored.
Completely ignored it. Yeah, but the last bit of plot is basically just the comedy bits with Druncle Crow. Yeah, that was hilarious.
Oh, that was so good.
It was it was perfect.
Yes,
I just want to know what did Vic Mignogna do specifically to get into character there, because it was perfect.
He must have had fun with that. Yeah.
Here he comes.
Yeah.
And then just the off-time laughs and everything. Oh, and so good.
Like the idea that it's like he is just plastered, but he'll, those little
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so the episode itself is a huge visual upgrade.
Yes.
From anything we've seen before.
They did do those little still images.
Well, those were still with artistic quality that we hadn't seen before.
They were very, very good artistically. They made sure to have, like, there were a lot of little details and things in there that might have been left out if this were volume 4. But they made sure to have those in there and linger on. I think maybe that's one of the reasons why they wanted to make sure they had still images, so that you would have time to see all the little bits that were in there.
There were quite a few.
Yeah,
there were quite a few. Some of the characters in particular also seemed very, very interesting in that I think I saw someone in there that looked like Zuko.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it just seemed like they're trying to go for a more Avatar: The Last Airbender feel with this this volume in particular. Like, given the whole bossing say kind of
Totes bossing say
vibe thing, even though there are no walls. It's a,
it's like
it's a city of cliffs and secrets.
It's like if Bossing Say and Rivendell had a love child. You know?
Yeah, like, yeah, exactly. No elves, but you know,
right?
The compositing, the lighting, the shadows,
especially in
Lionheart's
office when they had the light coming through the windows and like the shadows and everything. But that bit when, like, you know how there's almost like it's like there will be like dust in the air or something,
right?
And the light will sort of like catch on seemingly just the air.
Yeah.
They did that, and I was very surprised that they did that.
Yeah, they did. They did a lot of that stuff. Also, the movements of the character models during slow scenes were way smoother.
Yes,
way
very
fluid. So overall, I'm really excited to see them kick it up a notch with the fights that are incoming.
Right.
Okay. Which is another thing that could be really cool is since they dedicate episodes to have like no fights in it, like this one.
Sure.
That means the fights that are coming are going to be even
good.
Better.
Now, all right. So now we need to talk about the opening.
The opening.
So, whoa.
Okay.
Now,
okay. So I actually have some mixed things to say about it.
Yeah.
I think it was very good. I think that the weakness was in some of the fact that they again had more still images to show in places.
Sure. Yeah.
But the other thing that it didn't seem to have was as quite of a punch with the song, except like at specific parts. But overall, I felt like this is a new volume of RWBY.
Right.
Like
not just a new volume, but like
this is a new volume.
Yeah.
That's maybe the thing they were going for is that this felt like no other opening that I've ever seen before.
Yeah.
And in that, it automatically goes up to being good. Like
the way they made the characters all be like running around on that flat area, but then it seems like they're really small, almost like they're just little pieces in a much bigger game. And then that part where there's Salem like towering above them,
like some kind of raid boss.
Yeah, exactly, like a raid boss. Yep. And now this was the thing that I think stood out to me the most. They had the characters facing off against their natural counterparts, right? So Blake and Adam and things like that. But they had Cinder facing off against what looked to be a maiden. Now, I'm not sure whether that was
a spring maiden.
That was either the spring maiden or it was
a new character.
Or what if that was a new character design for basically a mentally internalized fall maiden. Now, I don't think that's going to be what it is, but like
Jacob.
Yeah, okay, Jacob. Okay. Hey, I would just love to see Laura Bailey come back. It'd be pretty cool.
Nothing like her.
Yeah, okay.
Nothing.
Yeah, so it's probably the Spring Maiden. But that is really interesting then because
she had the tattoos and everything. She had the tribe's kind of gear, outfit and stuff like that. Like,
well, we haven't really seen the tribal.
Yes, we have in the trailer.
Okay. All right.
That is the most like whack theory. I think that would be crazy if it was, but there's no way.
Well, because here's what I'm wondering.
100% the Spring Maiden.
Here's what I'm wondering. Right, because I'm on board that it's the Spring Maiden, right? Okay.
So why are we speculating?
Well, because then what is the connection between the Spring Maiden and Cinder other than just the fact that
they're both maidens?
Well, but do you think that's all it is?
Yes, they're going to meet in this season.
Well, right.
Right.
And that is what I'm excited for.
Well, yeah, that's
Salem
the
has been
connection.
super protective of Cinder, and granted, Cinder is like this fragile siege weapon, I guess, right now. But like,
has she been?
Well,
no. I think she's, if anything, been kind of pissed that this hasn't gone as smoothly as she wanted. And she's taking a little bit of it out on Cinder here and there. But I think she's itching to send her out as a fully equipped weapon.
Sure. Right.
Also,
what's the point of having a maiden if you can't use it?
Yeah. Also, we need Cinder out in the field because this is the potential for Cinder to start any kind of potential redemption arc. We are going to be championing.
Makes me excited.
We are going to be championing that, guys, as long as Cinder is alive.
Yep.
So yeah,
we ship Cinder with character development.
We ship Cinder with character development, and also it's contextual character development that could be added in through what happened in Volume 4.
Yes.
Because if Cinder has any sort of a redemption arc this bit, by, like, say, failing Salem really hard.
Sure.
And gets captured by Raven or something.
Right. Or just deciding she wants to fight for herself instead of...
Well, no, like, let's say she, Mercury, and Emerald go and square up against Raven's tribe and lose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cinder's pretty strong. I think Raven might try to convince at least a couple of them to try and come over and join her side. I can see Mercury running back. Sure. I could see, or maybe just running away. I could see Emerald actually trying to free Cinder.
Yeah.
I could see Cinder actually putting up a really good fight against Raven, like, almost destroying her. But
they also have a Spring Maiden.
Spring Maiden, exactly.
So we've got we'll have a Maiden on each side over there, and then they set up Crow to be the perfect opponent
card.
For wild card for sure. Yeah. Crow being in a massive 3-party battle.
That would be insane. That would be intense.
His quirk will have a field day, unless of course Raven's cancels it out or something. But
yeah, we don't know what Raven's...
We don't know what Raven's deal is.
Did you say quirk? Wow. Damn it. Jacob, you need to go watch RWBY again. I feel like
I just watched.
I know. I feel like
RWBY.
I feel like you've been a little bit out of touch with RWBY though. So
I just watched 12 hours.
I know,
of
but
RWBY.
you made so many mistakes.
Anyway,
the
point is,
yes,
it's going to be crazy. I can't wait to see when it happens and how it'll go down. Especially now.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you know what I'm about to
say. Yeah.
If they're going to get the Spring Maiden,
yep,
and they're sending Cinder, Mercury, and Emerald, they need to balance out that 4-person team. You know what I'm saying? So Neo could float back in.
Oh man. Maybe. I think Neo's a great character in concept, but she is not a character yet.
I know, that's why I want her to be around more, so that she can actually become a character.
Right. We just have so many characters.
Yes, absolutely.
The question, Jacob, I think this volume, that a lot of people are going to ask, and I feel like we need to kind of ask it now just so people can see if we're on that train. Are we going to see a lot of death this volume?
Some. We need to see at least
What is some? 3 people dying? 1? 2?
At least
10?
2, but more like
I'm talking
3
named characters.
Yeah,
Jacob.
named characters. I'd say at the very least 2.
Oh.
At the very least.
You're not going at least 0. Okay. I'm going to be more conservative here. I'm going to say that we will not see more than 3 people die.
Okay.
I'm going to say that it's 0 to 3. I could see 1 named character dying.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I could see us seeing a lot of unnamed characters actually, falling in conflicts and stuff like that.
Sure, yeah.
But I feel like Winter has a bit of death flags going her way. I feel like Lionheart has a lot of death flags going his way.
Yep.
I feel like new characters introduced this volume have a lot of death flags going their way, or they're just not going to.
Gira has death flags.
Gira, I would say, has some, and that's where I would say it stops.
All right.
I feel like this volume is actually going to be setting up a massive battle for Haven, where it doesn't necessarily end the way we expect.
Right.
The creators of this show are not going to want to completely rinse-repeat a Volume 3 situation.
No, absolutely not. And I would say in a way they almost can't, because unless they want to pull the rug out from under us like they did in season 3, because that was the main thing that season 3 was. It wasn't people dying, it was the fact that it was the rug being pulled out from under us. So and if you have a big battle for Haven, you need some people to die, right? At the very least, you know, unnamed people, but probably some named characters that are very much side characters right now.
Lionheart.
Yeah, like Lionheart.
Well, Lionheart's the first person
one,
to die in a battle for Haven.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, I don't think any of the kids are gonna die.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, I think this might be one of those volumes where we shift things to the kids more.
Yeah.
And that the adults kind of are taking a little bit of a backseat. The fact that the Spring Maiden is so young, I think, is actually another tie-in for a potential, like, volume 6 character that will be a little bit bigger. Like the Spring Maiden being a bigger part of it in volume 6.
I am a little bit apprehensive about that, not because I don't like the idea, but it's just that we already have so many characters. And
you're wanting Neo to be a character. Well, she's dead as far as anything is concerned.
Sure, whatever. But the idea is that there are a lot of characters right now that have already been introduced that could use some more character development. So, I'm all for them bringing in the Spring Maiden as another sort of main side character. Yeah, for volume 6 or whatever.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, the fact that they're bringing in so many characters is good, because that means it will be easier to make it feel like they don't have plot armor if any of them do.
Yes.
Because if you make a habit of killing off characters and the roster gets short, you kind of know that, you know,
you can't kill off too many more.
Don't worry, men. You can't kill all of us. You know?
And also, you don't have to necessarily kill off the ones that were just introduced this season to die.
Yeah.
That's how I felt Tyrion was, that he was basically introduced to fight someone.
Yeah.
And he was. He was introduced basically to be a death threat to Crow.
Right.
In this case, we now have people like Hazel. We have Watts running around. We have Sienna Khan, who's another wild card. We have the Spring Maiden, who's a wild card. We have all these unknowns and these variables running around. The point of this volume, I think, is going to be what brings all these variables together. It's going to be Haven, the Relic there, the Spring Maiden, Oscar, I think.
Yeah.
And
if that gets out,
Team Ranger kind of bouncing around between all of these things, and it's going to be really exciting. All in all, pretty excited.
Yes,
I am
very much.
I am really, really hopeful for some good slow burn development for those that have not rejoined Team Ranger yet.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Hopefully, Weiss joins back quickly, though.
Yes, next episode, I would say she needs to be back.
Hey, here's another thought. What if they rejoin Team RWBY in the order of Team RWBY?
Okay.
RWBY, Weiss, Blake, and Yang.
I like the idea.
That'd be pretty cool.
If so, that means we're going to be getting a lot of stuff in Menagerie getting thrown down.
I think that'd be quite a bit. Yeah. Also, it means that Yang could potentially have a lot of solo story.
That's true.
Or at least more story that's not involving the grand main plot.
Sure.
But in a way, her going to Raven, that's almost main plot territory by the fact that Raven has the Spring Maiden.
I'm surprised they wanted to do that, though, because that's keeping the party relatively split up, because Blake and Yang aren't going to be getting back to Team RWBY super soon.
Think of this like Game of Thrones. There are a lot of mini plots going on in different places and stuff. And I applaud the story writers for putting main plot hooks in every single location.
Sure.
Oscar, I would say, is one of the biggest ones that there is right now.
Right.
The Spring Maiden is relatively big, but just the convergence of so many things happening in Menagerie makes it way more interesting right off the bat than it ever was in Volume 4.
That's going to be a power shift.
A huge power shift.
Yeah.
I mean, a tumultuous, chaotic one. But
If
huge
the
one, nonetheless.
If the Faunus were to all of a sudden all be for Salem, that would be a big problem. If the Faunus were to all of a sudden all of them be united against Salem, Salem would have.
See, you're bringing things way too far too quickly.
Sure.
Adam, Sienna Khan, and Blake's squad. That's it. That's it right now.
Right.
Hazel is background stuff.
Yes.
He is not.
Absolutely.
He is not the frontline player.
Right.
There is no like you were saying, the invoking name and stuff like that. I like that as an idea, but it is not going to be a thing of even then where he's going to be like, I order you to do this for Salem. No.
Yeah. No, I don't think so either. But I just think about the idea that, like, Salem has all these, like, power hitters in her repertoire that she can send out, right? But she doesn't seem to have a lot of minions other than just Grim. And Grim can't solve everything.
What do you mean? What do you mean she doesn't have a lot of minions?
She doesn't... Well, from what we've seen that she has the Grim, she has a hold in the White Fang, and then she has her power hitters, right?
Well, yeah, but then they're the people that the power hitters manipulate. Those are minions.
Yes, but we haven't actually seen those yet.
Yeah, like Lionheart.
Right. Yeah, we've seen Lionheart. Yeah.
You don't need to see them. All you need to know is that these people are power hitters and they're in areas where their influence is going to be used. So
yes.
So the minions are never going to have a direct connection to Salem. I think that's what you're thinking of, and that's too Sauron. I have omnipotent kind of telepathy powers that control the Grim. I don't think Salem actually controls any Grim directly.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I'm all for that. But as far as the biggest players so far in the events that have been happening in RWBY, I would say the White Fang, other than of course like maybe Cinder, right?
Yeah.
The White Fang were the one of the biggest ones. They were the biggest one.
Yeah.
So if suddenly they didn't have to worry about the White Fang, that would be huge.
Yeah, I don't
think that's going to happen.
No, I don't think it's going to be as cut dry of they're with Salem, they're not with Salem.
Right,
so
yeah.
I wouldn't even think about equating it to that. It's a different plot on an island.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. I think that's about good for discussion.
Sure. I can't think of anything else.
I can't think of really anything else. There's probably a couple things, but let us know in the comments of something you'd like to discuss and ask us questions. What's your favorite part in this episode? What's something you'd like to see in the future in Volume 5? Because since we're all watching this together, we can't get spoiled, so we'll be all up in there in the comments with you guys.
Novel concept.
It's amazing, right? All right, guys. We'll see you all later. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.